RJ Gleaner Communications poll last evening shows your favorability nearly tied with Mr. Holness, Dr. Holness. Your comment on that? Do you think Jamaicans are now seeing you in a more favorable light and you're as popular as the Prime Minister?
Well, put it this way, I think Jamaicans are seeing more of me, you know, especially those that don't follow the politics that closely and so on and may not know much about me. Because we're in an election season now, the media is obviously paying a whole lot of attention to what we do, which we like. And more people are seeing who I am, and that has been reflected in the increase. And of course, on a net favorability rating, when you subtract the unfavorability from the favorability, I am significantly ahead of Andrew Holness. So that's a problem for him.
So we're 15 days out from the general election to decide which party is going to take Jamaica into the future for the next 5 years. And the new Don Anderson poll just came out. And what is interesting about this poll is that both parties are celebrating. And even though for myself, I take like these polls with a grain of salt, like I don't give too much value in these polls because especially with a sample size so small, I don't know if this can be considered accurate. But as I said, both parties are celebrating. So we're going to break down this poll and see who should really be celebrating and who should be worried. So let's talk about it. So as I said, the new numbers just came out, and so let's take a look from this report from TVJ News and take a look at the new numbers, and let's break it down together and see who should really be celebrating. Let's take a look.
1,008 registered voters were surveyed in all parishes across Jamaica.
The data show that 41% of respondents have a good opinion of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. It's a 3 percentage point increase over the May-June 2025 poll. The August 2025 data state that 37% of respondents have a poor opinion of the Prime Minister, while 22% have no opinion. For the opposition leader, 39% of respondents have a good opinion of Mark Golding. It's a 9 percentage point increase over the May-June 2025 poll. The August 2025 data also indicated that 27% of respondents have a poor opinion of the opposition leader, while 34% have no opinion. Looking at the favorability rating of both leaders, it shows a roughly 3 percentage point gap. The margin of error for the poll is plus or minus 3%. For the unfavorability ratings, more people had a poor opinion of the Prime Minister. There's a gap of 10%. Meanwhile, 41% of respondents have a favorable opinion of the JLP, 40% have an unfavorable opinion, while 19% had no opinion. Similarly, 35% of respondents have a favorable opinion of the PNP, 31% unfavorable, and 34% had no opinion. When comparing the favorability data, it shows a 6 percentage point gap, meaning the JLP has a higher favorability rating. However, more people also have a bad opinion of the JLP. There's a 9 percentage point gap between both parties. So what are the top 6 reasons for having a good opinion of the JLP according to respondents? Better plans and ideas. There's trust in their leadership, care for the poor and working class. The JLP has done well in the past, traditional party supporter, and they represent change. Reasons for the bad opinions of the JLP. People don't trust their leadership. They haven't proven themselves. The party only cares about some people. There's a poor track record when the JLP is in power. People never supported the party, and there's too much division and confusion. So what are the top 6 reasons for having a good opinion of the PNP according to respondents? They care about the poor and working class, they have better plans and ideas, they have done well in the past, there's trust in their leadership, People traditionally support the party, and the PNP represents great change. Reasons for the bad opinions of the PNP: they haven't proven themselves, their leadership isn't trusted, a poor track record, respondents have never supported the party.
Okay, so that was the latest Don Anderson poll numbers coming out from TVJ News. And as I said, these numbers, when you take a look at the latest numbers, this is not surprising to me. And the story that this is telling is the same story that I've been talking about for a while now. And a lot of Jamaicans that I talk to, whether PNP, JLP, whether they're independent, most Jamaicans that I've spoken to in the past 6 months, this is exactly what this poll number is saying, is exactly what most Jamaicans are saying, is that the Jamaican people are ready for a change. The Jamaican people want a change from Andrew Holness, not because they don't believe that the Prime Minister is doing a good job. Most Jamaicans that I talk to, they're not questioning the unemployment rate. They believe that the unemployment rate is valid. Some Jamaicans believe that, yes, a lot of the jobs are like cheap jobs, but the unemployment rate is valid. Most Jamaicans that I talk to, that's what they believe. Most Jamaicans that I talk to believe that the crime rate being down is valid. Those numbers are valid. But the thing that drive most people to want a change is all of the stuff that happened in terms of the Jamaica Labour Party approving that massive increase for politicians when teachers and nurses and police officers were fighting to get an increase. Jamaicans still remember that. Jamaicans are talking about the Integrity Commission and the investigation on the Prime Minister. So a lot of Jamaicans are saying like, look, we believe that it is time for a change, but at the same time, they're looking at the People's National Party and they're saying that we don't think that you are ready for government. So it's better to stick with the Jamaica Labour Party, even though we want to change. And that is what the poll is showing me. That is exactly what these numbers. So let's look at the favorability ratings first. So the favorability ratings for the Prime Minister, 41.3%. And the favorability rating for the opposition leader, 38.5%. That number is telling the entire story, because normally an incumbent government would be the other way around. An incumbent government would be considered less favorable, especially coming with like Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. 10 years, going through a pandemic, Integrity Commission, the massive increase for politicians, for the Prime Minister of Jamaica to have a higher favorability rating than the opposition leader. Remember, the opposition leader was not in office. The PNP, the People's National Party, was not in office. So the fact that the Prime Minister being in office for 10 years, and as I said, the pandemic, all of the things that Jamaicans were upset like 2 years ago with the Prime Minister, from shutting down the country and all of those things that people were very upset with the Prime Minister about. And for the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, to have a better favorability rating than the opposition leader that is pretty much coming in with a clean slate. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, is coming in with a clean slate. And for his favorability ratings to be lower than the Prime Minister, that is not a good sign for him. I know I saw Mark Golding celebrating because he's saying that, okay, so the Prime Minister unfavorability rating is 36.9%, and we see where the opposition leader, Mark Golding, is 27%. So most people look at the Prime Minister of Jamaica as unfavorable, and as I said, at 36%, and that is expected because, as I said, he was the one that locked down the country under the pandemic. People are still upset for that, even though like it's right across the world, but most incumbent government paid the price for the pandemic. So the fact that as I said, the favorability rating is high. That is a nightmare for Mark Golding, because it's showing that, as I said, and even talking to people for months, and that is the story. Yes, we want to change, but we don't trust the People's National Party because we don't think that their house is in order. And this is what this report is telling me. Okay, let's continue now. So the report was not just pointing out the two leaders, but the party itself. And when you look at the favorability ratings for the Jamaica Labour Party, and you see 40.8%, and you look at the favorability rating for the People's National Party, 35.4%. That is telling the story, as I said. It is telling the story that yes, we want a change. The unfavorability rating at the 40.5% for the Jamaica Labour Party is saying that we don't see the Jamaica Labour Party as favorable. We want them out. But the fact that the favorability rating is 40.8% compared to the People's National Party, 35.4%. That is telling the story. We want them out, but we don't trust the PNP to come in and to take over. And the only silver lining I am seeing in this report for the People's National Party is the no opinion. So for the Jamaica Labour Party, when they ask about the Jamaica Labour Party being favorable or unfavorable, 18% said they did not have an opinion on that for the Jamaica Labour Party. And for the People's National Party, 33.7%. So the only silver lining for the People's National Party is if the 33.7%, those people that were polled and said that they did not have an opinion on the People's National Party, whether favorable or unfavorably, if that number could flip, if the PNP could flip that number, then they might have a chance. But as I said, I think it's highly unlikely for the People's National Party to pull out a victory in this election. And as I said over and over again, the main reason I'm saying that is based on the deficit that they're in, 14 to 49 seats. We have never seen a comeback like that in the history of Jamaica politics. Because remember, the Jamaica Labour Party MPs that took all of those seats, the only way, unless they are careless and they sat back and did not visit their communities and did not keep up with what they needed to do to make sure they have a stronghold on those people. But for the People's National Party to come back from that deficit, it's going to be impossible to me, my opinion. But guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. What do you think about this poll number in terms of the JLP, even though saying 40.5% unfavorable ratings, but at the same time 40.8 favorable over the People's National Party, 35.4 favorable. How is it that the Jamaica Labour Party is in office for so long and they've been through so much turmoil? As I said, the pandemic, the increase in the government salary, like everything, the Integrity Commission, but the Jamaican people still see them more favorable to run Jamaica going forward. Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this one. And next, I saw this report coming out of Nationwide. So Nationwide is reporting that the People's National Party, that they are planning to sit out the debate if any journalists from Nationwide take part in the debate. And to be honest, I haven't listened Nationwide in a while now. I used to listen to them a lot, and it's been a while since I've listened to them. And I don't know, I honestly don't know when did Nationwide became like the party for the labor rights, because that is what the People's National Party are. I guess they are accusing Nationwide that they are not going to sit in the debate because they believe that Nationwide is going to favor the Jamaican Labour Party. I think that is what they're trying to say. So this report is coming out of Nationwide from Cliff Hughes.
The PNP and the JLP there's a raging controversy dispute now over the blacklisting of journalists from Nationwide by, no surprise, the PNP. Yes, they have blacklisted our journalists. They say they will not accept any journalist from Nationwide. And in the case of one of the moderators proposed by the Debates Commission, or Deputy Executive Editor, George Davis, the PNP over the weekend said, if George is a moderator, they will not show. It's a deal breaker. We don't know if that continues because they had not put that in writing up to, I gather, early this morning. But here's Tonna Thomas' report on that.
The PNP have told the Jamaica Debates Commission they will not participate in the debates if any journalist from NNN is listed among those asking questions of debaters across the 3 debates. The PNP said NNN reporters Ricardo Brooks and Tonna Thomas were unwelcome additions to the slate of questioners in the debates. The party went further. It told the commission that the presence of George Davis is a deal breaker, noting that any debate that Davis is a part of in any capacity will be boycotted by the PNP. The PNP has also trained its fire on RJR host Emily Shields. Shields is not understood to be part of the lineup of questioners and moderators. But the PNP says, given her past association with NNN, it would boycott any debate she's a part of. This position appears to underline how vehemently the PNP is opposed to anyone with any affiliation to NNN participating in the debates. It's understood the JLP went into last Friday's meeting with the Debates Commission with no block list. The parties understood to have told the Commission that all journalists from all media entities should be free to participate in the 3 debates and that it had no objection to any individual or media house. But the PNP, represented by Colin Campbell, made it clear it would not participate if any NNN journalist was on the list of hosts and moderators. That's when the JLP reportedly hit back, saying that given the PNP's objections, it would then have to object to certain individuals being present. The PNP have issued a statement condemning what they say is a breach of protocol by the JLP for issuing a press release about the private deliberations of the Debates Commission concerning the selection of the questioning and moderating panel. The JLP fired back, denying it issued any such media release. The Jamaica Observer has since published an article clarifying that the JLP issued no statement about the private deliberations of the Debates Commission. Tonna Thomas for Nationwide News.
Okay, so that was Nationwide. And yes, I'm trying to figure out why would the People's National Party risk sitting out a debate because of any of the journalists from Nationwide. I don't get it, because Nationwide is not the only media house in Jamaica that will have journalists there. And is it that the People's National Party think that this would be rigged? I don't know. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Is that why the People's National Party do not want Nationwide there? Do they think that it's going to be rigged like the Jamaica Labour Party members, like they are going to get the questions first, or the journalists from Nationwide are going to go harder on the People's National Party as opposed to the Jamaica Labour Party? I don't know, but share your thoughts in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.